Hi, in this video, we are going to discuss about simultaneous variable assignment in Python. We have discussed many detailed way of how to assign a value to a variable in our earlier tutorials. But this tutorial is going to exclusively discuss on assigning multiple value simultaneously to multiple variables respectively. So how we can do this in Python, we'll see that in a demonstration. Here, I'm going to declare a couple of variables. Let's say a variable name is going to be var1 equals 10. So this is the way we assign a value to a variable. And since Python is a dynamic typing style of programming language, we need not declare the data type. So the next variable that I'm going to declare here is variable 2, which is going to carry a value of 20. So here again we have declared a variable and we have initialized a value to this variable. And the variable 2 is also carrying a value of 20, which is numeric, means it's an integer type of variable. So there are two objects in the memory. One is the variable 1, another one is variable 2. Two integer objects are going to exist in the runtime memory. When I'm going to print this, I can print this as var1 and var2. If I execute this, you can notice that there is a value being printed, and that printed value is nothing but the value that we have assigned to the respective variable. This is a usual way of declaring a variable and initializing a value to the variable. This is how we do even in Java language. Java programming language also has similar style of declaration. The same way, we can also go for declaring and initializing a variable, multiple variables at the same time. So how we can do that is what we are going to see right now. Instead of taking the example of var1 and var2, let's take more productive example. Like for example, I want to have a sum and a difference of var1 and var2. So I'm going to declare a variable called sum, comma, then I need a difference of the value of var1 and var2. So I'm going to have sum and difference as two different variables. Here for sum, we are going to say var1 plus var2. So by that way, you are summing up two different variables and adding them and then assigning it to the variable called sum, comma, you can use var2 minus var1. Okay, I am finding the difference between var2 and var1, and in the first place I am adding the two variables of var1 and var2. But if you notice, these are expression statements. It's not just about the assignment alone. I'm not directly assigning the value here. Okay, it's not just about the value, it's an expression. So what are the expressions that we are doing here? One, we are using the addition as an expression. Okay, another one is the difference, the subtraction. Now based on this expression's output, the value is going to be assigned to this variable called sum, and based on this subtractions output, it's going to get assigned to the variable called difference. By this way, you can notice that simultaneously we are assigning a value to more than one variable. We need not write these expressions in a different liner of statements. Obviously, if you look at this in a perspective of a different programming language, we tend to write two different lines. Line 1 will carry the sum equals var1 plus var2, and in line 2 you will typically have the difference equals var2 minus var1. Instead of having a multi-liner of statements, we can go for simultaneous declaration of variable with expressional statements also. What I mean by expressional statements is, it's not just about declaring a value, let's say for example 25, and here I am saying 30. It's not a direct value that we are assigning to this variable. Instead, we are enforcing an expressional statement, and the output of that expressional statement or the outcome of the expressional statement is going to get assigned to this variable called sum. So by this way, we ensure that we eliminate the unwanted lines of code in Python programming statements. So if I print them, we have to see what's the output of these variables. Is that literally doing the purpose? We have to see that. So we go ahead and print the couple of variables. Yes, indeed, it gives the desired output. var1 is 10 and var2 is 20, so 10 plus 20 it's 30, and that's what is the sum value is. And var2 minus var1 is the difference between the two variables, which is 20 minus 10, so it's 10. But if you notice that this variable is actually highlighted, code highlighting is done. It's in the green color, but this variable is not highlighted. The reason this variable is not highlighted is because this is not representing any predefined keyword or function. But if you look at the sum is going to be treated as a predefined inbuilt function. There is a function name called sum. So it's better to avoid the inbuilt function name as to be used as a variable name. But just for a demonstration purpose, I'm just using this variable name. Okay. Now, having this said, we can see how multiple variables can be swapped in Python, because this information, this piece of information what we have learned here is going to help us in understanding the multiple variables that's going to be swapped. So we will see that as an demonstration in the next part of tutorial. Thank you.